After finishing 6th in the Hungarian Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc enters the summer break 80 points behind Red Bull's Max Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. Having started several positions ahead of Verstappen at the Hungaroring, Leclerc was given the opportunity to close the championship gap. But despite working his way up to the lead of the race, an unfavorable tyre strategy resulted in Verstappen passing him and dropping down the order. Following the race, Leclerc was asked if he could explain Ferrari's strategy decision. "I don't know yet. We need to speak with the team and understand the thoughts behind putting on the hard tyres because I felt very strong on the mediums. Everything was under control and I don't know why we needed to go on the hard tyres. I said on the radio that I was very comfortable with medium tyres and that I wanted to go as long as possible with those tyres because the feeling was good, but I don't know why we took a different decision." Leclerc had gradually increased his lead at the front of the field prior to the final round of pit stops. He had a 5-second lead before Ferrari's reaction pit stop, but finished 16 seconds behind the leader. Leclerc stated that he had been pleased with Ferrari's pace up to that point, and that their deficit was entirely due to the switch to hard tyres. "Honestly, I was pretty happy with the pace. The only thing is that obviously everyone remembered the last part of the race where it was a disaster for me, especially in the hard tyres. That's where I lost the race basically. I lost 20 seconds with the pit stop, maybe another 6 seconds in 5 laps on the hard tyres because I was just all over the place with this tyre. We'll speak about this inside the team to get better." In contrast to Leclerc's assertions, Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto believes that despite tyre issues, Ferrari lacked the pace to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. However, Leclerc's pace indicated that he was comfortable in the lead prior to the final stop, with Verstappen only becoming a factor when he made an early final stop. Binotto was asked if Ferrari had the fundamental pace to keep up the challenge for victory despite the tyre concerns. "I don't think so. What we were lacking was really speed and pace, and I don't think that we could have won today. I don't know the reasons for this because it's the first time in many races that we didn't have the speed to be there for the victory. So we need to look into that performance to understand. I'm pretty sure that when we understand that, we will also understand why the tyres were not working properly." With many rival teams and F1 personnel concluding that Ferrari's Hungarian GP tyre strategy was incorrect, their last blunder has added to the team's already mounting pressure. Despite taking 7 pole positions in 2022, Leclerc has only won 3 races, with many races being setbacks due to a variety of issues. There have been driver issues in Imola and France, as well as race-ending reliability issues in Spain and Azerbaijan, and subsequent grid penalties in Canada. Following the Hungarian Grand Prix, Leclerc was asked about his championship ambitions, to which he replied that Ferrari should first focus on their areas of improvement. "Before thinking about the championship first, we as a team need to understand what we need to do to get better. As a team, looking where we have come from in the last few years, I do believe that it's an incredible step forwards. On the other hand, obviously, there is another step that we need to do, and we're working on that." Of all the Formula 1 drivers taking a well-deserved break in August, Charles Leclerc probably needs it the most. Leclerc's frustration has grown as Ferrari's title challenge has crumbled. With diplomacy and flawless leadership, he handled his first major setback, an engine problem in Spain in May. Leclerc made it a point to return to the garage, console his team, and then face the media with a smile and restraint. Leclerc said and did everything correctly, which has clearly become more difficult in subsequent races. The botched calls in Monaco, another engine failure in Azerbaijan, the selection of tyres under the safety car in Britain, and then for the final stint in Hungary have all worn on Leclerc's patience, as he handed over well over 100 points to championship leader Max Verstappen. The only time that Leclerc appeared to be able to shrug it off was when he spun and crashed out in France. Leclerc was upbeat when he spoke to the media in Hungary on Thursday. What occurred in France appeared to be an isolated incident rather than part of a larger pattern. It certainly didn't seem to be a cloud hanging over him. But by Sunday afternoon, his face was etched with disappointment once more, and his assessment of the team was not as measured as it could have been. "We need to get better as a whole. It always feels like there's something going on, whatever it is, reliability, mistakes or whatever. We need to be better at putting a weekend together. We'll try and use the few days we have to reset, but also to analyze where we need to be better, what we can do to get better. The championship is now a long shot. Leclerc needs a lot to go in his favor to even have a sniff at the title. With that in mind, the summer vacation is ideal. Not so that he can reset and return ready to fight for the championship, but so that he can minimize any further emotional and mental damage from a bitterly disappointing season and avoid straining his relationship at Ferrari. Leclerc has always been careful not to attack his team, but there have been some splinters. Sometimes frustration just explodes, and we all know that Ferrari isn't one of those teams, especially since team leader Mattia Binotto is trying to foster less of a blame culture and protect the organization. Any friendly fire would be extremely detrimental. As the problems grew, so did the possibility of a spat between Leclerc and Ferrari. Nothing too dramatic, certainly nothing relationship ending, but enough to cause some tension. That's not to say it did happen, just that the potential was there and the flurry of races wasn't helping matters. In July, F1 held 4 races over 5 weekends. Leclerc did win one of them, but his other finishes were 4th, DNF and 6th. Verstappen led the race by 49 points at the start of the month. The difference is now 80 points, and Leclerc could have won each of those Grand Prix. The summer vacation brings an end to that cycle. It gives Leclerc time to reflect in the first half of the season, decompress and refocus. Binotto has indicated exactly where Leclerc's priorities should be when he returns to Belgium. When asked if the summer break was appropriate for Leclerc given his disappointing season, Binotto responded, "It is so. Certainly trying to rest, to relax, to come back even more hungry as the leader he is, to continue his building for the team, building for himself." And step by step, I think we need to look at each race as an opportunity to win. We're winning and losing together, and Hungary has not been a great one, as a lot of the last races have not been a great one. But I think there is still a lot of potential. We need to understand first the reasons of the disappointing Hungarian GP, address them and come back strong. Even though the ultimate goal is getting increasingly more difficult to achieve, Binotto is absolutely correct when he says that there is still a lot for Ferrari and Leclerc to strive for in 2022. Having a few weeks to recover from that is a welcome chance for Leclerc, as it allows him to make sure that he's in the correct frame of mind to make the most of what the rest of the season has to offer. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified of future uploads. And let us know in the comments what you think. Will the summer break allow Charles Leclerc to regroup and reclaim his championship lead from Max Verstappen? Do you think Ferrari can resolve their reliability and strategy calls issues? If so, what will it take?